A lot of people still do this, and I did that to my students as well for free every day. It's actually not okay to do this. Seems like this one word can mean anything. Maybe you don't need this. Hello, Ukrainian learners. Today it may be a little bit unusual for you to see me instead of stickers and cartoons as usual. But today is this type of video. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a very long time, you have probably noticed that in most of my videos you cannot see my face. But today I decided to make a different type of video. And it may be a little bit strange for you to see my face, finally. But yeah, today we're going to talk about translating exercises and how they affect your learning process. When I say translating exercises, I mean those exercises that you probably had at school. At least I had them at school. I had them at the university as well. When you have to read a piece of text or a paragraph and you have to translate it out loud, and the next student has to do the same. Everybody did this, at least. And it worked for us for a very long time. But nowadays, in modern language schools, if you are a student right now, if you are trying to learn a language right now, maybe you have a tutor, maybe you know that it's actually not okay to do this. These exercises are not okay at language schools right now. They can be dangerous for you. They can slow you down. They can stop you from mastering a language as fast as you want. They can become something that slows you down, right? I'm not saying that nobody does this anymore. Of course, a lot of people still do this, and I did that to my students as well. I feel a little bit guilty, but yeah, I did that because it was something that I used to do at school, and it was something that I used to do at university, and it's something that helped me to enrich my vocabulary and so on. Reading, translating, it was something that really helped me. But I never thought that it can be dangerous for you. I mean, when I say dangerous, I don't mean like dangerous, yes? I mean, it can slow you down. Why? Because a lot of students complain that they cannot speak very fast. They cannot get fluent in a language because they're constantly translating the text inside of their head. So before saying something in a foreign language, they need to think of a text in their own language and translate it inside of their head. And only after that, they can say what they want to say. And now imagine that you do these translating exercises all the time at your foreign language lessons, and it doesn't seem like something that can help you to get rid of this little habit of translating in your head, right? Because you constantly translate from one language to a different language during your language lessons, and this little habit stays with you when you try to speak. So this is pretty obvious. Yes, it's pretty obvious. If you constantly translate during your lessons, you will continue translating even when you try to speak, even when you meet someone and you want to speak a foreign language. Yes, this habit stays with you. Translating and speaking a language. These are two different things. It may be obvious for someone, but I think it is not obvious for everyone, because I know people who really think that if you are fluent in two languages, it means that you can translate from one language into a different language. Like, you know, two languages, you are fluent in two languages, it means that you can go and work as a translator. I know people who think this way. And yeah, if you think this way, write down in the comments, why do you think this way? Let me know your opinion about this. But it's not true. It's not true. People who are fluent in two languages, they cannot go and get this job just for being fluent, because being a translator requires a lot of years of practice, It requires a lot of effort and time. It requires studying, getting the diploma, and so on. Translator is actually a profession. To become a translator, you need to graduate from a university. You need a lot of studying. You need a lot of practice, and so on. I can speak for myself because I'm fluent in Ukrainian and Russian. Even if you are fluent in two languages and you know these two languages very well, you can speak fluently. It doesn't mean that you can translate very well. When somebody gives you a big text, a big, difficult, meaningful text, you will probably Google a lot of words because it will be very difficult for you to figure out the right translation, correct translation that would sound natural in the language that you are translating into. You will try to find the right translation for a very long time. You will think a lot about this. You will check the dictionary. Yeah, so it will take a lot of time and effort for you, even if you are fluent in both languages. Because a translator is a profession, and people study many years. People spend a lot of time and effort to become a translator. Yeah, so imagine even a person who is fluent in both languages cannot translate very well. And now imagine that you are not fluent in both languages. It will be even more difficult for you. It sounds more difficult, right? Even for a person who is fluent in both languages, it is difficult. And you are not fluent in both languages. Imagine how difficult it is for you. So when you are doing these translation exercises during your lessons, or when you are doing your homework, or when you are just practicing the language, the foreign language, you must remember that you are doing a very difficult work. Yes, when you're doing these translating exercises, you are not practicing the language. You're not practicing speaking the language. You're not trying to get fluent in the language. What you're practicing to become a translator. So when you are doing translation exercises, you are not practicing to become fluent in a language. You are practicing to become a translator. Yes. So if your goal is to become a translator, it's very good. You can continue doing these exercises. But if not, maybe you are making it more difficult for you. So you are making the process of learning a language, you're making the process of mastering a language more difficult for you. More difficult than it could be. Yeah. But is it possible to avoid these exercises? Of course, yes. I mean, if you are a student in a foreign language school, in a modern foreign language school, you would notice that nobody translates anymore. Nobody translates anymore. You read the text at your lesson, you read the text, and then your teacher asks you some questions to understand if you understood everything correctly, if you know all the vocabulary. Your teacher may ask you about something connected to the text. The teacher may check if you understood this phrase or this sentence correctly. You don't need to translate. The teacher can understand if you understood everything correctly, just asking you. And actually, in modern schools, they try to explain everything in the foreign language that students are learning. But it doesn't mean that the teachers cannot use the students' native language at all. Sometimes they can, when it's really necessary. But like 99% of the information can be explained in the foreign language, right? Now, if you have this problem of translating everything in your head before speaking, and it slows you down, and you don't know what to do, how to stop translating everything in my head, and so on, this information will be for you. So you are learning a foreign language. You take one word in the foreign language, you open the dictionary, and you'll see, usually you see a lot of translations. And at least it happened to my students, and it happened to me too when I was learning English. I took one word and I saw that this word has so many translations. And sometimes it can make you angry. Sometimes you may think, oh my God, this language is so difficult. It's impossible to learn. How is it possible? Look, this word has a lot of translations, like 15, 20, 25 translations. How am I supposed to remember all this? How am I supposed to memorize all this? Sometimes you may get angry at the language. You may think, oh my God, these people, how they communicate? Because it seems like this word, this one word can mean anything. How do these people understand each other? People who speak this language, it's impossible for them to understand each other because, like, this is crazy. Yeah, it may drive you crazy. You can get very, very angry at this language. You can be very, very upset, and it can discourage you because you can lose motivation to learn this language. But what if I tell you that it is actually not the foreign language's fault? When you open the dictionary and you see that one word has a lot of translations, it's not the fault of the foreign language. It's the fault of your language. That's why you must not be angry at this language. You must not be angry at the native speakers of this language. Let me explain. Take one word, for example, in Ukrainian, because my channel is for Ukrainian learners. Let's take Ukrainian word. The word kidati. Kidati, if you open the dictionary to find this word, to find the translations to this word, you will see different various translations. You may see to throw out, to drop, to abandon, to leave, to give up, and so on. Yeah, so you will see a lot of translations, and you will again you may get very upset because it's very difficult. How do I understand which one is correct in this exact context? And you will get upset because how am I supposed to learn all this? How am I supposed to memorize all this? Because it may be like 10 translations, 15 translations, and so on. But when you open the Ukrainian dictionary to check the meaning of this word, and you look through the information and you sum it up, you will get something like this. This is the meaning of this word, kedate. This action is the meaning of the word kedate. Doing this, when you hear somebody saying, kedate m'yaч is doing this to a ball. M'yaч is a ball in Ukrainian. Kedate m'yaч is doing this to a ball. When you hear somebody saying, kedate robotu is doing this to a job. Figuratively, this word can have direct or figurative meaning, yes? So figuratively, doing this to a job, like quitting, yes? So quitting, leaving the job. When you hear somebody saying кидати дівчину, is doing this to the girlfriend. Of course, figuratively, this means to break up with the girlfriend or to initiate, mostly to initiate the breakup with somebody, with the girlfriend, yes? But it depends, yes? Depends on the context. It can be direct meaning, yeah, just throwing out the girlfriend. Yeah, depends. Depends on the context. Depends on the situation. It can be direct or figurative meaning. Yeah, so you don't need to remember all the translations of this word, kedate, because you open the dictionary and you can find a lot of translations like 15, 20, and so on. You just need to remember this one picture. This picture will be your association. This picture will be something that will help you to understand native speakers when they talk to you. They tell you, for example, я кинув дівчину. And you have this association with this word, kedate, and you have this picture, and you have this association in your head, and you can easily understand what this person means. Yeah, you don't need to translate. You don't need to find the correct translation to this word. You remember this picture, and you can understand what they mean. Now, imagine you have to translate a phrase with this word. Я кинув дівчину. You will think about different translations, depending on the context, depending on the age of the person who was speaking, depending on the type of the text, depending on the year this text was written, and so on and so on. This is the work of the translator, to do everything possible for this text to sound natural, the translated text to sound natural in the language. And it requires a lot of time and effort. So all these translations that you can see in the dictionary, they are not for you. I mean, they can be for you. You can look through all the translations and you can sum it up and get a picture, get one association, or maybe sometimes two, because yeah, some words have lots of meaning. Yeah, so you can get one picture, two pictures for you, to get an association, and then you will use this association to understand what this word means when people talk to you. But you don't need to memorize all the translations. Those translations are for translators, to translate this text, for this text to sound natural, for this text to sound beautiful, for this text to sound correct, and for this translation to be professional. They need to choose among all these different numerous translations. It's the translator's job. It's the translator's job. And they get money for this. They earn money doing this job. They go to the university, they study a lot, they learn a lot of theory, they work hard, they practice a lot, and then they get this job, and they get paid for this job. And you do this for free every day, and you are not getting paid. Yes, and it actually slows you down. It actually slows you down. It slows you down a lot when you're trying to learn a language. I don't want to say that you must not translate at all. You can translate. It's very, very good sometimes, yes, but you must not do this every day at every lesson. I don't want to say that it's bad. It's very good for your brain. It's very good. If you want to become a translator, you can continue doing this. If you like translation, if it's something that interests you and you want to become a translator, or you don't mind being a translator, because, for example, you may be learning a language, and you think, oh, maybe one day I can become a translator. Who knows? If you think this way, you can continue translating. Yes, because you need those skills. You need those skills for you if one day you want to become a translator. But if your goal is just to speak, to communicate with people, to become fluent as fast as possible, to master the language, you don't need translation. Translation is a different set of skills. You can try doing this. You can do this sometimes if you like, and it's very good for your brain development, and it's good for everything. It's very nice. Translating is very nice. Translating is very nice, but you should not do this like very, very often. Yes, at school and at the university we had a lot of translating exercises, and I don't regret I had that. But it's not for everyone. If you are not planning to become a translator, maybe you don't need this. Yeah, so think about this. Translation is nice. So translation is nice. I like it. And my profession is a translator, by the way. I'm a linguist and a translator. So in my opinion, translation is very interesting, but it's not for everyone. And yeah, so you must think about this. So that's it for today. Let me know if you like this type of video. Let me know down in the comments. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you are new to my channel, check out my other videos as well. I post grammar lessons, short stories in Ukrainian, vocabulary videos, listening tests, games, and more. Check out my shorts as well. There, I post Ukrainian word of the day videos with short analysis of a chosen word with examples. And my favorite format, Ukrainian Song of the Day, where I choose part of a song's lyrics, translate it for you, and select the vocabulary you might find useful. If you like music, I hope you can find some nice Ukrainian songs there as well. To get flashcards to my vocabulary videos in PDF format, as well as additional materials to my videos, you can subscribe to my Telegram channel. The link is in the description. Everything is available for free. Soon, there will be even more interesting videos for Ukrainian learners. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.